Step into reading. Step 5. To the top. Climbing the world's highest mountain. By S.A. Kramer. The Men and the Mountain. Two men stand at the bottom of a giant mountain. Snow is falling, and an angry wind roars all around. No matter where they look, they see only ice and rock. This is a place where nothing grows and no one lives. But the men don't seem to notice what a lonely spot it is. They pay no attention to the bitter cold or the storm. Their eyes are fixed on the mountain, so tall they can't even see the top. The mountain is Everest. It is the highest in the world. At 29,028 feet, it's close to 5.5 miles tall, higher even than the clouds. And Mount Everest isn't just tall, it's one of the coldest places on Earth. No matter what the time of year, snow and ice never melt there. It is part of a great mountain range in Asia called the Himalayas. Himalaya means our Earth home of snow. The two men at Everest are mountain climbers. Their names are Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. It is 1953, and they want to be the first to reach the very top of Everest, the summit. No one has ever climbed Mount Everest all the way. 10 times before, men have tried and failed. 19 climbers have already died. 2 of them vanished near the summit and were never seen again. Tenzing and Hillary are part of a special group called an expedition that will try to reach the top. If they make it, they will be heroes throughout the world. Millions of people everywhere are waiting for news of their attempt. Will Everest finally be conquered? Many people believe that it's impossible to reach the summit. Parts of the mountain are so steep and dangerous that one false step can mean death. A climber can tumble thousands of feet down a slope, or plunge close to 2 miles through the air. Everest is so cold, the temperature can drop to 40 degrees below zero even in summer. Without special clothes, a person would freeze to death in minutes. The wind is very strong as a hurricane's. It can hammer in at over 100 miles per hour. Climbers can be blown right off their feet. Terrible avalanches, sliding ice, rock, and snow sweep down Everest slopes several times each day. Climbers get buried before they know what hit them. In 1922, 7 people were killed in a single avalanche. But the main reason no one has climbed the mountain is its incredible height. The higher you go, the less oxygen there is in the air. At Everest summit, there's only a third of what's on the ground. Without enough oxygen, a climber's body breaks down. Anyone who stays that high too long will die. Hillary and Tenzing know how dangerous Everest is, but both are convinced they can make it to the summit. There's no place on Earth, they feel, that humans cannot reach. They see Everest as a challenge people cannot turn away from. It must be climbed because it is there. Now the moment has come. The mountaintop hides somewhere in the clouds. To reach it, Hillary and Tenzing are about to risk everything. The beginning. Just a few months earlier, Hillary and Tenzing were strangers. Yet for many years they shared a dream to be first on Everest summit. Hillary is a beekeeper from faraway New Zealand. When he was young, no one expected him to amount to much. He was a small, shy boy who did poorly in school. His father sometimes beat him, but he grew up tall and strong. He made climbing his hobby. He didn't see snow until he was 16, and he didn't make it up his first peak until he was 20. Tenzing has known mountains all his life. He was born into a mountain people called the Sherpas who live in the country of Nepal. Since Everest lies on Nepal's border, he grew up in its shadow. Tenzing works as a mountain guide, and people call him Tiger of the Snows. Over the years, he has tried to climb Everest several times. His family worries that he'll keep trying until he makes it, or until he dies. One day, Tenzing and Hillary hear about a new expedition organized by the British. 14 of the world's finest climbers will be asked to join. The group will work together as a team, but only the best climbers will head for the summit. There won't be enough time or supplies for everyone to try. Hillary and Tenzing are both invited. The expedition gathers in Kathmandu, Nepal's capital. Before they head for the mountain, the group collects supplies. The climbers will be away for 3 months, so they must take 22,000 pounds of equipment. The expedition will fail if they run out of anything important. Once they leave, there will be no way to get more supplies. Hillary and Tenzing check the equipment. Everything is there, from their favor. I'd foods to the warmest parkas. What's most important, though, are the tanks they'll strap on their backs. These tanks contain oxygen to help them breathe at great heights. Even if climbers practice in thin air to get their bodies used to it, very few can climb high mountains without extra oxygen. An area called the death zone begins at 26,000 feet. No one can stay there long and survive. But oxygen tanks are heavy. Carrying them makes the climb that much harder. The expedition has the lightest tanks possible. Tenzing and Hillary just hope they'll be light enough. The expedition sets out for Everest on March 10th, 1953. 450 Sherpas have been hired to haul supplies as far up the mountain as they can. Many lug close to 60 pounds. To reach Everest, the expedition must walk 190 miles. The only path is so narrow they have to march one by one. It will take them more than a month just to get to the mountain. The path begins in a jungle. It's sweltering. Soon everyone is dripping with sweat. It's hard to believe they'll soon be wearing parkas and snow boots. The jungle is beautiful, but Tenzing and Hillary are on guard. Tigers, crocodiles, and deadly snakes prowl nearby. Leeches, a kind of worm, suck their blood as they wade through water. They cross rivers on rope bridges that sway madly in the wind. Always the path takes them higher. It gets colder as it heads up. Frosty peaks stand in the distance. One of them is Everest. Then, at last, they arrive. Everest towers above them, jagged and icy. Even at a distance, it glistens in the light. It is easy to understand why the Sherpas call it Komolungma, or goddess mother of the